Hey fifth graders, this is your video for the week. It's going to be a short week because we don't have school on Friday. So what we're going to do today is practice a little bit more with rounding. I noticed in class that we're having some trouble with it, so let's go over it and let's just review. If you already know how to do it, that's great. This will just be a little bit of extra practice for you. So I'm going to give you a decimal like this, 3 and 157 thousandths. 3.157. What people in class had trouble with was when it asked you to round to the nearest whole number, the nearest tenth, and the nearest hundredth. So let's look at that together and just practice some of these. Today you will not have work in your book. You'll have a worksheet to do that is on Show Me, and you will also have a worksheet for homework. That's because I've used all the pages up in the workbook that have to do with rounding, and we need a little bit more practice before your test on Wednesday. So let's look. Wednesday, you're going to have your test on this. I want you to be totally good with decimals before then. I didn't put any kind of word problems on that test. It's actually pretty straightforward, and I think you will do a great job on it. So let's look at the whole number. This is my whole number, the 3. The number next to it is going to tell me whether that 3 stays the same or it goes up. That 1 tells me that 3 stays the same. So rounding to the nearest whole number is 3. Okay, so the nearest tenth. The tenth I have is 1. The number next to it is 5. 5 is going to make that 1 go to a 2. So I'm going to keep my 3, keep my decimal, change my 1 to a 2. I don't put anything else after that. I just want my answer to have one place after the decimal. Hundredths. My 5, I'm actually going to change that to green. My 5 is in the hundredths place. The 7 next door is going to tell me what to do to that 5. The 7 makes the 5 go to a 6. So I keep my 3, keep my decimal, keep my 1, and change my 5 to a 6. Some people were confused on why I would have 2 here and 1 here. Don't even think about that. Don't even think about those going together because they don't. They're totally separate rounding problems. Okay, so let's try another one. On your test, I split it up to make it a little bit easier. So let's do 307.648. So a little bit of a bigger number here, 307 and 648 thousandths. So I'm going to round to the nearest whole number, nearest tenth, and nearest hundredth. The 7 is the nearest whole number. Even though I have 307, I still do the ones place. The 6 next door tells me the 7 is going to go up to an 8. So I keep my 3, keep my 0, change that 7 to an 8. I need the whole number there. So what you're really thinking about is 307. Is it closer to 307 or 308? That 0.6 tells me that it is more than half, so it needs to go up to 308. Speaking of the 6, it's in the tenths place, so I'm going to look at the 4 next door. 4 tells me the 6 is going to stay the same, so I'm going to keep everything until I get to that 6. Everything before it stays the same. Everything after it, we drop off. My 4 is in the hundredths. The 8 makes the 4 go up to a 5. So 307.65. Okay, so that's all you have to do. It's very methodical. You just have to remember what your places are, remember your place value, and then you also have to remember to look next door and remember your basic rules. 0 to 4 stays the same, 5 or more rounds up. Okay, so let's do 74.61. Oh, I need to add one more. Hold on. There we go. To make it where we can round to the hundredths. Whole number, tenths, hundredths. So for this one, let's look at whole number. That's my 4. Look next door. 6 makes the 4 go to a 5. So my nearest whole number is 75. Okay, let's look at tenths. 6 is in my tenths place. The 1 tells me the 6 is going to stay the same. So I'm going to keep my 7, keep my 4, keep my decimal, keep my 6. The 1 and the 5 go away. And the last one, hundredths, the 1 is in the hundredths place. The 5 tells me the 1 needs to change to a 2. So I keep my 7, keep my 4, keep my decimal, keep my 6, change my 1 to a 2. Okay, so today you're going to practice more of these on the worksheet. So you're going to have 2 worksheets, one for classwork and one for your homework tonight. Okay, so this is the end of your Monday video, and I will see you guys for Tuesday. This is your Tuesday video. So today you need to pay special attention to the problems we're doing because I had to pick out specific problems that I wanted you to do. So we're going to be reviewing on page 38 through 39. I'm going to write down the numbers you're going to do, then we're going to look at them together before you get started. So you're going to do 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 13, 14, 22, 23, 31, and 32. It looks like a lot of numbers because I had to put them all out like that, but it's really not a whole lot at all. So I'm going to grab my book and we're going to look at it together. Page 38 and 39. This will be the last thing we do with decimals for a little while. So let's look at 1 first. 1 gives you 63 over 100. So if I gave you something similar, like 53 over 100, and I wanted you to put it in decimal form, I see the 100 here, and it's going to have 2 decimal places after it. There's no whole number here, so this is 0. Then I just fill in my 53. Okay, that's how you would do 1 like number 1. Number 3 gives you 2 and 370 thousandths. So you're going to write that as a decimal. Number 4 is the same. It gives you words, and it needs you to put it in decimal form. Number 7 and 8 are using greater than, less than, or equal to. So you will compare your decimals. So let's try one of those together, and let's review that real quick. So for those, if I gave you one like 77 and 300ths versus 77 and 40 hundredths. I'm sorry, that was 300 thousandths, by the way. So remember my trick, have the same decimal places after each one. This one has 3, this one only has 2. So if you remember, I can add that 0. And now I'm looking at 300 versus 400. I know that 300 is less, so 77 and 300 thousandths is less than 77 and 40 hundredths, okay? So that's what you're doing for 7 and 8. Numbers 13 and 14, you're writing them from least to greatest and greatest to least. Numbers 22 and 23, you're rounding to the nearest whole number, tenth and hundredth. And then for 31 and 32, you're rounding the money. So let's look at one of those. I don't know if we spent enough time on that on the virtual last week, so let's look at some of those. If I give you 74 cents, then I told you to round that to the nearest 10 cents and the nearest dollar. 10 cents would be my 7. The 4 is going to make it stay the same, so I would have 70 cents. You can also write it like this. This is going to be the dollar spot. So 7 is going to make that 0 go to a 1. So I get $1. If you wrote it like this, that is fine too. Either one's correct. So that's how you're going to do the last 2. So once you get done with these, I'm going to go over them for you and check them and then get ready for your test tomorrow. Your homework tonight is just to study. I want you to make sure you're clear on everything. The best way to do it is go back and read some of those notes you've taken. rewatch some of the videos that we've done the past 2 weeks on decimals. And you can also rework your classwork. You can rework some of the problems in your book, even do some of the ones we didn't do, and have your parents help you review. So that's your Tuesday video. Make sure you study. Please, please, please. All right, this is your Wednesday video. It is test day. So you have your test. It is a little bit longer of a test, but I wanted to make sure I got everything in that we've done so far. And it actually will help you in the long run because you can miss more and make a higher grade. So your test today, you're going to, let me get it right here, and I have it to show you. It's handwritten, so of course that means it has to take up more room. So the first ones, 1 through 4, I give you a fraction and you write it as a decimal. So there is one I want to go over with you real quick. If I gave you something like this, actually I'm going to erase that real quick. 5 and 1/10. If I ask you to write that as a decimal, I would put my 5 as my whole number, put my decimal. The 10 right here tells me there's 1 space. Oops. Okay, that didn't work, so let's start over. 5 and 1/10. 10 tells me there's going to be 1 place afterwards, and then the 1 on top goes here. Okay, so that's how you do ones like that. 5 through 8 is write the number name for the decimal. The best way to do it is to think, how would you say that number out loud? And then write exactly how you would say it in your head. Numbers 9 through 11, they give you the words, you write it in standard form. 12 through 15 is to write an equivalent decimal. So if I gave you 8/10, you can put a 0 on the end, that's equivalent. Let's go back and do expanded form real quick. You do have one of those. So if I gave you 1.93, expanded form, we would say 1 times 1 plus 9 times 0.1 plus 3 times 0.01. Remember those? Let's do one more. Let me do one like this. 1 times 1 plus 5 times 0.1 plus 3 times 0.01 plus 1 times 0.001. Take it step by step, look at each place value. Number 21 through 24 is going backwards. They give you the plate or the expanded form and you tell me standard. So let's try one of those. Let's do 3 times 1 plus 4 times 0.1 plus 3 times 0.001. Okay, 3 times 1, we know that's going to be my whole number. I'm going to put a decimal. 4 times 0.1 tells me 4 is in the 10th place. I don't see anything times 0.1, so I know that there's no hundredths. Put a 0. The 0.001 tells me that that 3 needs to go in the thousandth place, so I get 3.403. Okay, so that's that one. 25 through 30 is greater than, less than, or equal to. 31 and 32, you order from least to greatest. 33 is greatest to least. And then 34 to 43, you're rounding, and make sure you pay attention to the directions and what I told you to round to. And the last one is labeling your place value, okay? So, pretty straightforward. You guys should do pretty well on this. Let me know if you have any questions, and please take your time and double check your work. All right, guys, Thursday, it's the last day of the week. We don't have school on Friday. We're going to move our fun election stuff to today. So let's look at what we're going to do today. So the first thing I have is an election math worksheet, and you're probably gonna like it. I like it, I think it's fun. So this is what it looks like, and it says directions. Complete the following mathematical expressions about elections from the number box provided. So it gives you key numbers, almost like a word bank. And then it gives you facts about the election, but instead of giving you numbers, it gives you a math problem to solve to see what the number is. So the first one says, to vote in the United States, you must be a U.S. citizen and at least 2 times 9 years old on election day. So you know 2 times 9 is 18, so the answer would be 18 years old. Number 2, the price tag for the last election was over 20 minus $14 billion spent. We know 20 minus 14 is 6, so $6 billion was how much it cost for the last election. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to go down 1 through 10 at the end, write 2 different math facts about elections and complete sentences. So basically, you can copy the sentence they already did, but you can change the number to be a different math fact. So you don't have to come up with your own election fact and Google it or anything like that. You can make one of these up or use one of these and then just change the numbers. So instead of for the first one saying 2 times 9 years old, I can say 9 plus 9, and that would still be 18. Okay, so then after that, you're going to look at character traits. So we ended up saying that we were going to vote for Harry Potter versus Captain America. So this is what your character trait sheet looks like. It gives you Harry Potter in one column, Captain America in the other. Your job is to find out character traits about each one and what would make them a good president. So you're going to list the good things about Harry Potter and the good things about Captain America. Are they trustworthy? Are they leaders? Are they smart? Things like that. You're going to list them all out here. If you don't know much about them, Google them. I'm sure you know enough that you can make some character traits. The last thing you're going to do is make a campaign poster. So on a white piece of paper, you're going to make a poster to campaign for one of these characters. So a campaign poster is what is used to get votes for the president. You'll notice if you drive around, a lot of people have signs in their yard for a president candidate. And those people put them in their yard to show support. You can tell on TV when they have commercials, that's part of campaigning as well. Campaign posters, you should have seen those last year when the people in 7th and 8th grade ran for class president. They came up with posters and put them on the wall. Sometimes they have cute slogans. They should be very neat and they should be eye-catching. They want to catch the eye of a person who might stop, read it, and vote for them. So you can have vote, Harry Potter, or you can have a lightning, that looks like a cursive Z, I don't know what that is. A lightning bolt, which I obviously can't draw, but some of you can. If you want to print it and do fun things with printed pieces of paper and maybe glue it on or even design it online, if you're good at that, you can totally design online and upload it to Shobi, whatever you want to do. Make it creative, make it look cool. This is supposed to be something fun and creative for you to do at home. Pick your favorite character and just make it look really cool. And hopefully when we do it in class, I'll have some cool ones to show you guys as well. So this is it. This is what you're doing today for math. There is no school on Friday, so this is the end of our video. Let me know if you guys have any questions and enjoy your day off.